friends. So today in math, we're starting a new chapter. On Friday, you took your multiplication test, and we wrapped up our introduction to multiplication. So today, we are starting our introduction to division. Now, division and multiplication are opposite operations, okay? Just like addition and subtraction are opposites, multiplication and division are opposites, okay? So with multiplication, when we multiply, our product got bigger. With division, just like with subtraction, when we divide, our quotient, which is our answer, will get smaller. So we're going to talk for a couple of weeks about this. So don't worry if you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't know very much about division. Totally okay. All right, we're going to talk a lot about it. But just to give you an idea of what division is when you have two numbers. Your first number is your biggest number, and your second number is what you're dividing that bigger number into. And then you have an answer that tells you how many are in each group or each thing that you divided. Okay, so like I said, don't worry, tomorrow we're going to dive into it. Today is just kind of an introduction. What I do want to do is go over our vocabulary with you. Division vocabulary is really important to help you understand exactly what division means and how to best do it. So, this is on your Schoology page. If you'd like to pull it up, you can, but hopefully you've already read over it. All right, our first word is divide. And divide means to separate into equal groups, to find the number of groups, or the number in each group. So if I have 4 coins, and I ask you to divide them into 2 groups, that means that I made it smaller by separating them into different groups. So that's divide, to separate into equal groups. That word equal is super important. Just like when we talked about arrays, equal is a key word. Okay, our next word is division sentence. And a division sentence is a number sentence using numbers and the divide sign. So this is a division sentence, okay? You can see this little guy right here is the division sign. If you see that, that means that we are dividing. So that's a division sentence. All right, our next word is fact family. Now I'm hoping that sounds familiar to you from 1st and 2nd grade when you learned about addition and subtraction fact families. So a fact family is a group of related facts using the same 3 numbers. So let's say I have the numbers 6, 3, and 2. I can make a fact family, which means 4 different number sentences using just those 3 numbers. Check it out. There's a fact family. I have 2 multiplication facts and 2 division facts, and all of them use those same 3 numbers. Okay, our next word is partition. And partition just means to divide or break up something. So if I ask you to partition counters into different groups, that means I just want you to separate, divide them, split them up. Our next word is dividend. And dividend is a number that's being divided. So it's your biggest number. Okay, so in my number sentence, if it's a division number sentence, my dividend will come first. Then I have a divisor. And a divisor is the number by which the dividend, is being divided. Whew, that's a lot of words that sound alike. Okay, so this is my dividend, This is my divisor. And then all of those lead to the quotient, which is my answer. Okay, so just like in multiplication, we have factors and a product. In addition, we have add-ins and a sum. When we're talking about division, I have a dividend, a divisor, and a quotient. Now don't panic. I know in your head you're probably thinking, Mrs. Stevens lost it. She's talking crazy words. I'll never remember all this. I promise. We're going to spend lots of time talking about this. So by the time we're done, you're going to know it all. But I like to introduce it before we start, just so you have an idea of what's coming. All right, our next word is inverse operations. And those are operations that undo each other, like multiplication and division. So if my division sentence said, the opposite or inverse and opposite mean the same thing. The inverse of this would be, okay, so division and multiplication are inverse. Addition and subtraction are inverse. It just means they're opposites. All right, related facts. Related facts are basic facts that use the same number. So if you know that 4 times 2 equals 8, you're going to know that 2 times 4 also equals 8 because of that commutative property that we talk about. But you can also know that 8 divided by 4 equals 2, and 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Okay, so related facts and fact families are like this, okay? A fact family is made up of related facts. All right, and our last word is repeated subtraction. So do you remember how we talked about multiplication is repeated addition? Division is just repeated subtraction. So what if I have this? Okay, how can I use repeated subtraction? Well, I'm going to start with my dividend, and then I'm going to subtract my divisor. So 10 minus 5 equals 5. And then I'm going to repeat my subtraction until I get to 0. So I have 10 minus 5 equals 5. Now I'm going to subtract 5 again, and that equals 0. So how many times did I make an equal sign before I got to 0? 1, 2. So that means 10 divided by 5 is 2. Don't freak out on me. I know that was a little tricky looking, but we're going to practice it and you'll get it really well. Okay, I hope that gives you a better understanding of your vocabulary, and you can go ahead and read down through the directions on the page for the rest of the day.